This is a Woodland Scenics mold. I just poured some plaster in here, some plaster Paris. Doesn't have a really high density, but for what I'm doing, it's fine. And now I'm just gonna pop them out, which can be a little tricky. And if they break a little bit, that's okay. I'm not overly concerned. I did over pour just so I can use it to adhere it to the, I can't even think now that I'm trying to pop these out. I can't multitask. To the Sculptamold. There you go. Sculptamold, that's it. That's the ticket. Well, a little bit of impromptu. I thought I had some footage, but I guess it didn't record. It's the part where I am mixing the Sculptamold with some water, which I'll show another video of that I did a long time ago of some scatter terrain that was kind of foresty, and it had a log on it and stuff like that. But anyway, I mixed some Sculptamold with some water, got to the consistency I wanted, then I smashed it out flat. And as I did that, I would put the pieces in those rock sculpts that I did from the rock molds that I did from Woodland Scenics, and I smashed them down in, and then I would roll the Sculptamold over the edges and kind of smooth it out, and that'd smooth the edges. And I did it on plastic so I could peel it off, and then I'd flip it upside down. I dried the whole thing out, but that's in the essence of the process. You can go back and look at the other one too, but that's what I did as far as the Sculptamold is concerned, to create the little islands of terrain pieces for this project. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to the footage, whether it didn't record, I didn't press play, or not play, record. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Now that they're all put together and dry, this is chocolate brown, just a dark brown color. Just use any dark brown, burnt umber, whatever. Put some water in it just to make it so it applies a little bit easier. It's not so thick. Just get a big brush. I'm not really concerned about doing the rocks. I just want the earth around the rocks more. And I'm just gonna cover all these, and I don't care if it's kind of like a little translucent in some spots. All the better, because it's not consistent as far as color is concerned. This is just regular old black. I'm gonna make a really thin black wash to go over all these. Add some water. Oh, fix brush. And then just mix. This is raw sienna. I'm gonna use this to dry brush. And I'll probably just dry brush everything, just because I want the rocks to be lighter anyway. But just go over the dark with this, just to lighten it up a little bit. And most of this is gonna be covered with grass anyway. So it really doesn't matter. Well, not the rocks, but the dirt, the earth anyway. The earth anyway. The earth will be covered up with a lot of grass. This next color is a dark goldenrod. It's kind of a terracotta color, a little bit lighter. And I'm not going to dry brush this heavy with this color. I'm just going to go over the rocks. And I'll apply more pressure as I see the paint being worn off, just to try to get the look that I want. Kind of going for like a sandstone, southern Utah style rock. And I don't care if it gets on the dirt a little bit, just because, like I said before, the dirt is going to be covered up by grass, foliage, or whatever, mostly, if not completely. All right, this is a maple sugar tan, and just a tan color, just lighter than it was before. And just gonna kind of go lightly on this color, not hit it too heavy. That's my dog walking around, if you can hear her. She has some claws and she's kind of antsy because her mommy's not home. But just kind of add one more layer, just mostly on top. But that's kind of just a general rule, because I'll just kind of go wherever I feel like it. This color is sandstone, and I've already done that one, and now I am doing this one. Just another, this is my final dry brush. And this one I won't even go lighter, except there are a few occasions where I will hit it a little bit heavier. Just to add some flavor to it, like I hit right there a lot more. Just because and right here I'll hit a lot more. Just kind of bring it up a little bit more than everything else, just because it's kind of rounded. And I have no other reason other than that. Just because I think it looks good. I'm doing oil wash now. This is burn on bar. Just gonna put a little bit in here. Like so. Looks like a little poop. And then use some ivory black. Seems to be my go-to combination for the last few projects. Dab a little bit in there, darken it up. And get some mineral spirits. I really need to buy some more. Throw that in there. Mix it up with my handy brush. Let's test it out. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm using Q-tips with the spirit, the mineral spirits, to remove the outermost outer layer. Outermost outer layer. Is that actually even a phrase? Tried using makeup brushes, but they just filled and blew up full of liquid, so I bagged that and went back to Q-tips. This is Drucci Violet. It's a GW shade, and I'm just going around now and just mostly doing around the edges or the bottom where it meets the earth and dirt. And then I will go in here and shade some of these up a little bit more and just kind of give it a purple hue. Just kind of do whatever feels good. So I've already done this one. So you can kind of see where it's more purplish in here. Just kind of give that different color and shade, and then how I've done up the sides on this one right here. Just go around and do that to all these, and then I'll probably go back and do some green or who knows. I like doing shades on rocks. Just kind of gives it different colors and different looks. Now I'm just using some Beltan green and just kind of intermittently, if I can say the word correctly, kind of rhymed actually, and just gonna go along the bottom, and then if I feel so inclined I might hit somewhere on the top a little bit, but not too much, but mostly on the sides, just kind of show that there might be some growth of some kind, and just add more color to the rocks before I start applying flock. I've mixed a couple static grasses together, a burnt grass and a harvest gold, but I put them both in this one because I barely had any of the burnt grass left. Just gonna use some Elmer's glue or white glue or PVA, or I don't know, whatever you like to call it. Just gonna apply some glue onto this. It's stuck. There's a wad in there. Oh. Yeah, that didn't work out very well. Gotta take the top off and see what the crap is clogging this thing. And just gonna spread it on here. And I didn't mean to get glue on that, so I'll probably switch it out so I don't waste any of my static grass. All right, it's now liberally applied. Now what I'm gonna do is just kind of dab with my fingers. Let it set for a few minutes. Now that it's sat for a couple minutes, or however long you want to have it sit, I'm just gonna, whoops. There's some edges that didn't quite get the right amount. Now I'm just going to tap it just to shake it off of there, and maybe it'll stand, maybe it won't. And there's still some, just because there's a lot of heavy glue in some areas, it's soaking through, which is fine, because in the end, when it dries, The glue will dry transparent enough to where you won't notice it. I had some different static grass. This static grass just is a lighter green, and this is what it was before, and I'm going to do it to all of them. And all I did is just took a piece like this, took my white glue, and just dabbled glue here and there. No real pattern, no, just kind of mismatch. Maybe a little bit more over here. And one thing I can do later is with the tufts, I can just kind of smooth things out a little bit with the tufts, so that's not going to be that big of an issue. When I add that portion, I'm going to take my static grass, if you have an applicator, you can use your applicator too. If that was the case, I'd use a little bit more glue, but I'm not going to use an applicator. I'm using this applicator. Just kind of mash it down where it's at. Make sure you get a healthy coating. Like so. Tap it all off. And then if you see some places like this where maybe the static grass wasn't there well enough, put some more on or not. All up to you. And then because I'm not using an applicator, I'm going to use my brush, and I'm just going to kind of stand it up a little bit. Just kind of move it around. Things like this, I'll just kind of move up, and then when it's closer to the rocks, I'll kind of brush it towards the rocks a little bit. Just so it's not perfectly flat, that you're just kind of moving around and messing with it. All right, it's all dry. I have a winter tuft, a highland tuft, and a lowland shrub tuft, and I'm just going to sporadically do these on a piece. Just going to put some glue off to the side, grab my trusty tweezers. This is a winter tuft I'm going to do first, and I'm just going to put it in no particular order, just kind of balance things out or just give it a different texture, give some different flavor. And just to show that it kind of can grow in cracks too, I'll just put one up in here, just to give it a little bit more realism that weeds tend to grow everywhere or anywhere they want, pretty much, as long as there's some little hole they can get. So that winter tuft kind of just gets lost in there. That's okay. I just grabbed another one. This is a deadland tuft. I'm going to see what this one looks like on there. Yeah, that looks cool. I like the contrast. This is a highland tuft. The one thing when you're doing stuff like this, you have to keep in mind when you're applying things is this may have miniatures on it, so having really brittle pieces on here may not be too conducive to your gaming. So you just have to keep that in mind. Hope you enjoyed the scatter train video and there's something you can get out of it. It was kind of something I need for playing D&D. I'm probably gonna go that route a little bit because I need more stuff for D&D. So that's kind of the realm I'm gonna hit. But for whatever reason, that one portion, my video crapped out. I don't know what happened, so I had to improvise. But I do have an older scatter train video that does more woodland and like rocks and kind of like, well, natural things like rocks and real sticks and things like that. This was all kind of fabricated with molds. But if you like the video, go ahead and, if you'd be so kind, share it, like it, give it a thumbs up. Like the channel if you like the channel. I do have some other old videos that kind of cover a wide spectrum. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or comments that you give. Well, another thing too is I'm hoping to get back in the swing of things. Kind of been a weird hobby funk. I don't know if you've ever been in a hobby funk, but I've been, man, just trying to sit down and paint miniatures, do terrain tutorials, anything. It's just like, this, you know, usually I can blame it on summer because I have other activities that I do, but it's just, no, it started happening before summer. I really had to force things, and I'm really trying to get back in the groove. I hope I can get back in the groove because I really want to do some things for D&D, like I said, and some other games. There's so many games that I want to play, but if I keep being in this slump, then I'm never gonna play any games, I'm not gonna make anything. And I think that's part of the whole deal of keeping rhythm, keeping sanity, is doing things that you love and doing hobbies that you like. But anyway, I hope you get something out of this video. That's pretty much it. I hope everything's well with you, and I hope you're having a good time. Hope you're happy with your hobby, and don't be like me and getting that weird, I don't know, it's a mental thing. I don't know what it is, but anyway, you have a good night. And like I said before, my mother used to always say that anyone can do art, and I believe it. You have a wonderful evening or day or whatever time you happen to be watching this. Later. Ciao.